Abigail Kay. I'm the President of Heathrow College JSOC. We're a small theology college in the University of London, so if you haven't heard of us, that's probably why. We're very specialist. But we've got about 5 students who come along because they're Jewish and about 25 students who come along because they're just interested. In my first year of university, I went to Imperial College Jewish Society because there wasn't a JSOC back then in Heathrow. Imperial is a much larger Jewish society, and it was there that I got involved for the first time properly as Interfaith Officer 2011-12. I was responsible for organising a sukkah on campus, which brought in people of all different religions and which was a great success. At the beginning of this year, I co-founded a JSOC at Heathrow College. It's now the first time that Heathrow's ever had a JSOC. We've got 5 Jewish members and quite a lot more non-Jewish members because everyone at Theology College is very interested in learning about other religions. We try to make sure because of that we've got a nice broad range of different denominations represented, so no one gets one picture of Judaism as Orthodox Judaism or anything else. At the beginning of this year, I also set up the UJS Blood Drive, which is a project in memory of my mother that encourages students to give blood on campus, because the students of our world are the donors of the future. I've been working with the UJS Initiative Fund to give the money for this project, and what started off as a small thing to get some friends to donate became a much bigger project that spread across most of the campuses of the UK. We're now working with Mitzvah Day, Magen David Adom and the London Ambassador Scheme of the Blood Service. Since June, I've been one of the 6 UJS delegates to the Board of Deputies, which deals with matters of communal interest to the British Jewish community. It's really important that UJS has a say on this board because it gets the student voice heard, and it makes sure that student opinions and younger opinions are heard by the wider Jewish community. One of the committees that I've been involved with at the board is BODSA, the Board of Deputies Social Action Group, which makes sure that the board stays in focus with the need for social action projects in the modern world. We've been working both within the Jewish community and also reaching out to other faiths to instigate joint projects, working with people like Oxfam and with the Blood Service. Opportunities that I've been given, whether it's on Heathrow campus, on Imperial campus, or with all the JSOC that I work with across the country, it's given me so much, and I've developed so many team leadership skills. I've got better time management, I've got better motivation skills, and I know that from these experiences it is possible to motivate and to mobilise students, and that is what UJS needs to be doing. The key to the success of UJS, I feel, is purely down to student empowerment. We've got so many students out there with so much potential, and we're just not getting it all at the moment. We need to unlock every ounce in every student so that we can get the best from UJS in the coming year. The important thing to recognise is always that every person is individual and that every person has their own interests. So it would be ridiculous to say, I want all students to do X this year. I want to provide as many opportunities as possible for individual students so that they can choose. They might be interested in campaigns, might be social action, it might be anything else that they feel that is the role of UJS on campus. And it's important that we make sure all of those opportunities are available all the time for all students on all campuses. I see what the UJS needs to provide in the coming year as fitting into 3 categories. There's empowerment to students, which is making sure there's a greater awareness of what the UJS has to offer for its students. There's empowerment by students, which is encouraging peer-to-peer leadership within JSOCs. And there's empowerment beyond students, which is the UJS building bridges for students into the wider world. A good example of empowerment to students is the Initiative Fund. It's a large pot of money that's set aside by the UJS at the beginning of every year to fund innovative projects that students come up with. The problem is it's not well enough publicised, and so students who've come up with a great idea like 100 for 100 or the B Scheme or the Blood Drive aren't necessarily able to access it because they don't know it's there. What we need to make sure is that the only thing that's difficult about using the Initiative Fund is having the initiative in the first place. In terms of empowerment by students, it's absolutely crucial that the UJS starts to represent every denomination of student within Judaism, because so many students feel that they're not represented because they aren't Orthodox. I want to suggest that incoming JSOC committees sign up to a pledge to provide events across the denominational spectrum, and that in a larger scale, the UJS develops better partnerships with organisations such as Marom, LJ Students and Generation, as well as the work it does with chaplaincy on campus. Finally, as part of empowerment beyond students, I want to tackle what a lot of people see as a polarisation between the student world and the wider Jewish community. There shouldn't be a polarisation because the Jewish students are part of the wider Jewish community. I want to use the example of organisations like Magen David Adom, Young Magen David Adom and Young March of the Living to add a student voice into the wider soundscape, maybe through using students as journalists in the JC and the Jewish News. In a nutshell then, if we can put the correct structures and facilities in place, then the UJS can unlock the potential in every Jewish student and can empower them to achieve that potential. K is the key.